Okay, so now we're going to do some asset identification, and this is a fun exercise. You're going to like this. You're going to be pleasantly surprised, I think. So, as we move towards your launch, it's important to identify and gather all your assets. So that's what we're going to do here. And most people have assets that they've completely forgotten about, including me. You already have assets. Every time I've done this a couple times when we were at a live event, and we've gone through this exercise, and it's amazing the assets that are in there. A lot of times people have like this 30,000 person list that they completely forgot about. So you almost surely already have assets. So one of the things that you'll often see in my work is this idea of dig your well before you're thirsty. So really what this is about, it's not only about identifying the assets you already have, but it's identifying a map of how you can gather more assets. So as we go through here, that's the frame I want you to think about. Not only do I have this, but what can I do now to start building those kind of assets? The deal with these assets is most of the times it comes from adding value to other people's lives. That's where nearly all of mine have come from. It's from adding to people's lives. It's, a lot of times I get great support when I go to launch something. When I say support, I mean from joint venture partners and affiliates. And I get great support. And people wonder often, how can I year after year get that kind of great support? And it's because I spend a lot of time helping people out. I see a lot of people, that might be starting out coming up in my industry. And a lot of times, just out of the blue, they'll get an email from me offering to help them with their launch. And you can't hire me there. I'm unhireable. People can't pay me enough to work in their launch, but often I'll just show up and help people out just because that's the way I am. But that often comes flowing back to me, even if not from that person, from some person that person has, they've heard about me helping someone else, so all of a sudden they're willing to help me. Yeah, I've got these amazing assets, but I didn't start with any of them. I built them up over time. And once you start to focus on this list I'm about to share, then you're going to have those assets as well. So first of all, I want you to think about any potential lists you have. Prospect lists, client lists, offline lists, old lists that you've forgotten about, that you haven't mailed in a long time. And that if you've got old cold lists, old moldy lists, that's okay. I'm going to give you a super quick recipe for warming them up in a minute. But a lot of times people, they create a list and then they've built it over time and they forget about it. Or you might have some clients that you've seen over the years or people you've helped out. What kind of lists do you have? And they don't have to be email lists. They could be on social media. They could be they could be just snail mail addresses. They could be phone numbers. They could be business cards. But what kind of lists do you have? Especially lists of people that you've worked with or built value in their lives in some fashion. It could be past clients, whether they're in a current database or not. Susan Garrett, when she started out, she's had amazing success. You're going to learn about her later on in the course. But, she's had just amazing success. And she started out, she just had a bunch of past clients. And so she sent them individual emails offering them, something if they went and joined her list. Past clients can be a great way, especially offline past clients. What type of social media presence? Do you have a social media presence? On YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, somewhere else, Pinterest, wherever. There's a new flavor of the month in social media, but do you have any kind of a presence there, any kind of a followers there? What type of offline or online presence do you have? Do you have position in your market? Do you give talks like local talks at the Chamber of Commerce or wherever? Do you have some kind of just positioning where people see you as an expert or an authority or someone who has built value? And it could be online in a forum. It could be offline in a club you're in. But where do you have positioning within your market where people know you, like you, trust you, respect your expertise? They respect your capabilities. How about current or old products? Done or almost done? A lot of us have a product that we almost finished. It's sitting on a hard drive somewhere. It's sitting in the closet somewhere. There's some recordings. It could be on a videotape or even a cassette tape somewhere. What old product have you not released? And this isn't, or you release but you don't sell anymore. And this isn't about, it has to be something that you're going to sell, that you're going to launch right now. But it could be something you could leverage, and you could turn it into pre-launch content. You could turn it into the value offer if someone opts in at your site, that they get that. It could turn into free videos you release on YouTube to build some traction. So do you have any old products or that are done or almost done, that are on the market or off the market? So right now we're not talking about how we're going to use these. We're just sort of gathering this list right now. What type of raw material do you have for a product or a lead magnet? Audio or video recordings, notes, outlines, just something rattling around in your head, sort of a riff, something that you can talk about, that you're passionate about, that people find value in. What raw material do you have in old journals? What do you got there? Emails that you've sent to past clients that help them out. What raw material do you have? What content relationships do you have? Who do you know that's got content or can create content? Don't worry about how you're going to get it from them or how you're going to compensate them. Just who do you know that that has some, that could either produce some great content, that could get on the phone with you, that you could interview, that you could get together and you could shoot a quick video with, that's already publishing, that might let you republish some of their stuff. What content relationships do you have? What about blogs? Do you have a blog? Do you have relationships with bloggers? And the easiest way to develop a relationship is and this isn't instantaneous, but this is something you can do over not too long a period of time, is if you leave intelligent comments on a blog, and you consistently leave intelligent comments, almost every blogger out there is reading the comments on their blog. It's almost magnetic. They can't not read them. Or did I get that right? Yeah, that's right. They can't not read them. They have to read them. And if over time, say over the next month, every time they put out a blog post or every other time they put out a blog post, you leave an intelligent comment where you're not being super self-promotional, where you're not saying, oh, I totally agree with you, it's just like I say on my blog here, or yeah, 100% agree with you, just like I say in my product here, here's the link. So don't be promotional, just be cool. And help their positioning. In your comment, look at what they're trying to do with their blog and their blog post. Look, what are they trying to do? How are they trying to position themselves? What are they using their content for? And how can you leave an intelligent comment that helps them accomplish what they want? That's a big thing with all these the entire asset identification. It's all about figuring out how you can help people get what they want. And when you work on helping them get what they want, all of a sudden you start to accumulate assets. And it might not come to you flowing, like immediately pouring in overnight. But that's how I've built my assets up. But I'm always focusing on, like, how can I help people get what they're after? Now, in other ways you can build a relationship, that you can build assets, is by doing guest posts for other blogs. So you can, after you build some relationship with them, you've left some great comments, maybe you can contact them and see if you can write a guest post. That can be a great way to build up your assets. Another way is forum presence. Now, forums are sort of old school now because of social media, but there's still some very, very active forums in a lot of markets. For instance, like if you're interested in electric guitars, there's this fantastic forum just for people that are really into Fender Telecasters. And there's nowhere in social media that has as many people that are into Fender Telecasters as there are on that forum. So it's easy to find high value forums. Just go to Google and search whatever your keyword is, and then the word forum, and you're going to find the forums. Now, when you get into forums, there's always group norms. There's a good forum is always a strong community, and there's group norms. And so get on there and just read it for a few days or a few weeks, and and observe what the group norms are, and see if a lot of times there's sticky notes posted in forums where they have what the rules are about what the community norms and the rules are. So be sure to check those out. But the number one thing is add value. Don't promote until you've added value in the forum. But so do you have a presence on a forum, or could you build a presence? Okay, moving right along. What kind of testimonials or case studies do you have? And they can be for you or for your product or your service. So maybe you've been working with clients one-on-one, and now you want to release a product, and you don't have testimonials for the product yet because maybe it's not even done yet. But you can go back to your clients and get them to say cool things about you and about your services and about the results they've gotten from you. So that's often how testimonial, when you're just starting out, testimonials are often about you as a person, about how awesome you are, about your integrity, about how you get stuff done, or about the results that you've gotten for people that you've worked with. So what kind of testimonials or case studies do you have or could you get? Joint venture or affiliate relationships. We'll go way deeper in this on a later module, but the best way to do this, the best way to start building those relationships, the best way to get on their radar is to sell their stuff, is to be an affiliate for them and sell their stuff. And that's the number one way to get on people's radar if you want them to promote for you eventually, is to first sell stuff for them. Second best way is just find a way to build value in their lives. That could be buying their product and taking their product and implementing their product and then being a case study for them, or just not even, you don't have to be a case study. People love to hear when you take action on their stuff. And so just writing in and saying, hey, I love your stuff, I took action, it was awesome. You know, the thing is this business is no different from any other business. A lot of times people come to me and say, Jeff, how do I, get a whole bunch of people to promote my product, to be my champion? Well, I mean, if you just walked into some corporation or some store and said, hey, I want you to be my champion. Can you be my champion? Can you be my partner? Can you be my affiliate? Can you promote for me? They're going to be like, well, who are you? In normal business, offline business, you have to build a relationship first. You have to build value first. And this business is no different than any other business. So start thinking, are there people that you have added value for already that you could approach for a joint venture or affiliate relationship? But if not, then who are those dream partners for you? And how can you start adding value for them as quickly as possible? So how about relationships with key players, by persons of influence, the people that are positioned as the leaders in your market? Or do you know people who have connections to those people? That can be the quick route, the quick road right up to the top in your market. Do you have relationships, or can you build relationships with the key players? And again, relationships aren't built overnight. It's all about adding value. Do you have expertise in an area that you can leverage? For example, I've often helped people with launches, and I've built relationships very quickly by helping people with their launches. Maybe it's just a quick hallway conversation where I give them an idea at a conference, or maybe it's a quick phone call or a quick Skype. Or Brendan Burchard did this really, really well. He had expertise on getting sponsorships, like getting corporations to sponsor small companies. He had real expertise on that. So he used that expertise to get great sponsors for his launch and create great prizes for his joint venture partners. So he went from not having much positioning to being able to offer these amazing prizes for joint venture partners who took part in his launch, and it put him on the map right away. Do you have relationships with experts? It's often there's people that are real experts in an area. They might not be a huge key player, a huge person of influence, but they've got great expertise. And they're often easy to get interviews with them. Often, best-selling authors. There's lots and lots of authors of books that their books really aren't selling very many copies. Even if they're a bestseller on Amazon, they're probably only selling a few copies a week. And they all want a bigger audience. So if you go to them and you interview them and promise that you can bring them to a bigger audience, then it can be a great asset to build up. If doing interviews like that. John Gallagher, very famous PLF owner, he's the guy that went from food stamps to building up this serious business. And he initially built up his business by going to experts, people who were experts in his market, which was edible and medicinal plants and herbs. And he went to them and he interviewed them. And then when he just went out and told his small list about these interviews, that small list told everyone else, all their friends and neighbors, about these interviews, because they were interviews with top tier experts. Experts who really didn't have any platform, any leverage, but they were top tier experts. And he was able to interview them. Didn't cost him anything. They loved doing the interview because it brought him to a wider audience. And he was able to quickly grow his list by doing that. Many, many ways to leverage these interviews. Another asset that you have, if you don't have any of these other assets, is Product Launch Formula and the PLF community and PLF Live. If you just go to the community and you're looking for experts, or you're looking to bring your expertise to people, and you mention that in the community, you can often build up great relationships there, really high power relationships, possibly even joint venture relationships. And when you come to PLF Live, which is my once a year live event, the level of joint venture deals there, the level of content relationship deals there, the ability to get the attention of people with crazy platforms, amazing platforms, is just through the roof. It's an absolutely extraordinary asset. So right here within Product Launch Formula and the PLF community and PLF Live, you have a great asset right there. And again, it's like everything else. It's about adding value. How do you add value to people's lives? It's not just about going in there and putting up a post in the PLF community saying, "Hey, I've got this product. Who wants to mail it for me? Who wants to promote for me? Who wants to be my partner? Who wants to be my affiliate? Who can promote me?" It's about going in there and adding value and becoming a presence there over time, and then sharing your value, and then looking to support other people, and then asking for their support. So obviously it's a common theme here. It's all about building value for others. If you don't already have these assets in place, it's about building value first. So here's the quick start. Start on all the long-term stuff immediately. That's start publishing on social media, start building up your presence in forums in your niche, identify those top blogs, start making intelligent comments. There's a saying that when's the best time, if you want to have a 100-foot oak tree in your yard, when's the best time to plant it? 50 years ago. That was the best time to plant, was 50 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. You want to start planting today. So if you haven't built up all this value over time and built up these assets over time, then do the second best thing and start building today. I've identified 10 experts in your market. Rank them in order of preference, with the most powerful or the best fit at number one. So often the most powerful, they might not be a good fit for you. They might not be, you might not resonate with their values or their presence or the kind of stuff they publish. In that case, then don't go to them. Then you want to list them in terms of, these are the best people, the most powerful people who are a great fit with me. List them 1 to 10 in order of power, in order of preference, in order of how they resonate with you. And then you don't go to the number 1 first. Approach number 10 and ask for an interview. And often they'll do that interview for free. Or if they don't want to, or maybe even offer to pay them. Often it's amazingly how small amount of money you can pay them. After you get number 10, then go to number 9. And then go to number 8. And you can do this concurrently. You can go to number 8 and 9 at the same time. But get that first one done. Just go through the process, figure it out, smooth out all the wrinkles, get that first one done. Then go to number 9 and number 8 and do this concurrently and get those done. And then continue working down that list until you go to number 1. Record the calls, get them transcribed. We use internettranscribers.com. You can record calls any number of ways. You can just use Google Hangouts to record them. But this is just a quick way to sort of get right in there and get moving and building your assets quickly. Then the next step is you need to start building your list. And that basically you need an opt-in page, what we call a squeeze page, and what we call an opt-in bribe, or it could just be, basically it's something of value that you're giving to people if they opt in for you. Because once you start building your list, it allows you to, it makes it a lot easier to build value for other people very, very quickly. So that's a quick look at your asset identification and a quick start on your asset building.